The biggest issue that we have with getting a home ready for sale is to get it marketable. And what that really means is getting it to a point where it's staged, updated to meet the buyer's eyes. Selling a home is like any retail business. First impressions are really everything. Hi, my name is Bobby Auerbach. I'm a real estate broker here with Compass in South Florida, and today we're gonna cover the selling process. When somebody's selling a house for the first time, there's a lot of things that come up that they're not familiar with or don't have contacts. This is a stressful process. It's the biggest asset that they have, more times than not, and they haven't sold or bought a house in a long time. So I think it's important for me as an agent to help guide them, help be a resource, provide them with contacts that they may need throughout this process. I try to treat my clients like I would want to be treated. So in the home selling process, a lot of the homeowners are going to want to have an idea or a timeline of how things are going to work. At the listing presentation, if the listing's been signed and we've agreed upon terms, we'll discuss the things that we need to do to freshen the house up to make it look ready for sale. That usually takes about a week. Once that's done, we'll have the photography and videography done week 2. That usually takes 5 to 7 days to get done and turned around, at which time we'll also have all of our marketing and social media ready to go. So we'll have it listed on the market after 2 weeks. Realistic expectations are that first weekend to do an open house, drum up a lot of activity, and hopefully we have some good conversations in the form of offers to discuss with our clients. Once we have the right offer at the price, we'll sign off and move forward, and the inspection period is anywhere from 7 to 15 days. Once that's done and we're through that aspect of it, if it's a cash deal, we're home free and we're ready to close. If there's mortgage involved, we'll have the appraisal done, which more times than not is done right after the inspection's been completed. And then we'll have a loan commitment period. And that's anywhere from 20 to 30 days from the time you sign the contract. So closing, from the time we list to the time we actually get the house on the market is 2 weeks. And then from the time we have it under contract to close can be anywhere from 30 to 45 days. The biggest issue that we have with getting a home ready for sale is to get it marketable. And what that really means is getting it to a point where it's staged, updated to meet the buyer's eyes. Selling a home is like any retail business. First impressions are really everything. So curb appeal, anything that you would see from a buyer standpoint that would draw some sort of red light to you or some sort of caution, those would be things that you'd probably want to address or take care of prior to selling a home. Any buyer that comes into a home that feels or sees that it's been maintained is less concerned about roofs, plumbing, air conditioners that they can't necessarily see or are familiar with. Little things, touching up baseboards, door casings, making sure that the house has been pressure washed, the landscaping is in tip-top shape, those go a long way. It makes it more sellable when somebody comes to see your house. So when you're competing against other homes in the area that are at the same price point, you want to make sure your home shows as well, if not better than those, to make sure that it stands out. If I come into a house and I feel like things are maintained and updated, there's less that I'm going to have to do after it's closed. I may be willing to pay a little bit more for it. It's crucial to look at market data, see what's recently sold in the last 90 days, see what your competition is in the marketplace. Sometimes the truth hurts, but you want to make sure that you deliver for your clients. And in some cases where homeowners are looking for a certain price that may not be attainable, you have a decision as an agent what you really want to do. But for me as an agent, I like to go in there and have that conversation of what I feel is the value for that property. My goal is to try to get top dollar for your property and set records. But at the same point, I'm a realist. I look at what data is happening in the community, what kind of traction as far as how long things are on the market, how long it takes to sell, what they're selling for price per square foot, and what improvements those homeowners have done to those homes so that I can have that conversation with my clients. So we can sit down and have an honest conversation about what the value of their property is. Staging is huge. It gives warmth to the house. It puts a buyer in a perspective where they can kind of see themselves living in that home. Naturally, when I come in a house and they show me around, one of the first questions I'll ask is, where are you moving to? I mean, the reality of it is my impression is we're gonna sell this house. You need to make sure that you have everything planned for that next step. So have we lined up, gotten prices for moving companies? Have we decided on where we're going to? Do you need help in that process? Do you have questions about what the financial impact's going to be from moving from this house to another house? Even if it's going to a smaller house, what are the implications from taxes? My mortgage, is it going to go up? All those things come into play. And yes, I'm a resource for these homeowners. Not everybody is in a position to purchase a new property without selling their first property. Understandable. So what does that look like? Obviously, you're going to have to sell your house first before you purchase that next house. Do I have the ability to do it the same day? Is that a 2 or 3 day window? A lot of that is lined up with financing. So yes, you have the ability to do it one day. Does it become very challenging? Of course it does. I would always suggest having that 1 day window. But if that's not an option, yeah, we have the ability to make sure that you have the closing in the morning, the deal funds, so that you have those proceeds in order to come to the closing table on the property that you're purchasing. Once we find that new house, that seller is going to require my client to put money in escrow. We need to make sure that that money is protected. In order to do that, we do a contingency, contingent on the sale of their home. Not every seller is going to accept those. In certain situations where they don't, my client has to make that decision, whether they really want to move forward with this house and gamble that their house is going to sell in time, or they hold off and look for another property, or wait until their property goes under contract in order to make that offer. With 20 years of experience in doing this, I've worked with a variety of different situations. Not everything is seamless, but I've gone through just about everything. So I'm comfortable dealing with that process and making sure that my clients feel comfortable.